Today is Equal Pay Day. That is how far into the year women must work on average to make up the pay disparity between what men and women earned the prior year. Some deny there's an issue. Others are fighting for equality. And NewsNation correspondent Janelle Fort joins us live in California tonight with more on the debate and, more importantly, what's being done about it. Janelle.
Well, Marnie, what today symbolizes is that it would take almost 15 months for women on average to make what men made last year in 12 months. And while we are seeing a trend of that number decreasing, the number in the gender pay gap, it's moving at a snail's pace. According to the Department of Labor, it's only decreased about 8 cents over the past 25 years.
This Equal Pay Day, soccer superstar Megan Rapinoe joining President Biden for a roundtable to discuss solutions.
One cannot simply outperform inequality or be excellent enough to escape discrimination of any kind.
The Olympic gold medalist at the forefront of the fight for pay parity for women since filing a federal lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer League for pay discrimination in 2019.
We're still paid less than our male counterparts. For each trophy, of which there are many, for each win, for each tie, for each time we play, less.
According to the U.S. Department of Labor, working women in the U.S. make 82 cents for every $1 men make, with women of color making even less. Black women sit at 63 cents, while Hispanic women 55 cents. The COVID-19 pandemic amplifying the disparities.
I just came from hospitality. That's where I worked up until the pandemic.
Rita Ehrenstein says, like many other Americans, she and most of her colleagues were laid off at the onset of the pandemic.
The only people that were exempt would be like the general manager, maybe like one food and beverage manager, which predominantly male.
This trend driving the percent of women in the workforce to a 33-year low per the National Women's Law Center. Still, some deny there's an issue.
Women have equal opportunity to make just as much as men do in every situation I've seen.
That sentiment echoed by Texas Congressman Pat Fallon in an Equal Pay Day hearing this morning.
And if these alarming disparities that some claim that exist, if they existed in actuality, let me ask you this question. Think about that. Why would businesses not just to hire all women? Because this alleged wage gap is grossly overstated and exaggerated for political benefit.
His remarks sparking a swift rebuttal by Virginia Congressman Jerry Connolly.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, one of the most outstanding jurists in American history, couldn't get a job at a law firm because of her gender. That's not ancient history. That's not the market working perfectly. That's, in fact, an enormous failure to recognize talent.
Financial literacy expert Chloe McKenzie says denying there's a problem has harsh impacts on our economy.
When women are not paid the same as their male counterparts, they are then being required to experience more hardship.
She says businesses are at fault, and the way to solve it is exactly what's going on in Congress today.
The longest pathway would be through congressional legislation, federal legislation.
The administration is pushing several policies to try and close that gap, namely the Paycheck Fairness Protection Act. If passed, it would require employers to be more transparent about wages, and it would make it so that business can no longer retaliate against employees who express concerns about pay disparities. Reporting in Los Angeles, Janelle Fort, NewsNation.